Okay, so action cams, are they worth it? And what's the best? Well, obviously, this is a bit of a personal review, based on my own sort of experiences. But I mean, I do like my action cams. I've had a few of my time, but for me, I do prefer DJI products. With DJI, you can expect quality. And if you're like me, I mean, my sort of vlogging style is really very much point and shoot. I come on these walks, I do my little talks, and I'm on these. I don't really want to spend a lot of time editing, colour grading, and other stuff. I just like to see what I see, record what I see, and get it onto my PC, onto YouTube with minimum fuss. Yes, I do a bit of editing. For that, I use CapCut. I've got the paid version of CapCut because it gives you a lot more. But because when I go out, I'm always recording. I don't go out with scripts or this is what I'm going to do today, this is what I'm going to say, I just go out. And what I think about, decide to talk about, I just talk about it. Yeah, different things happen while I'm out, I might get some people come past me. Might get some kids come past me, I don't want them on my video. I know I'm out in public and I've got the right to record anything I want and I don't have to ask people's permission. But I like, to make sure that I'm not unnecessarily upsetting somebody. So, does mean I can come back and I can edit the video. And cut anything out I don't really want. Maybe put a few stickers on things and do a couple of little transitions. And that's all I want to really do. I like to keep it as real as possible. And to be perfectly honest, the DJI cameras, I have to say, are probably the best for it. In fact, everything I've ever had from DJI has been good and it's worked well. I've not had any problems at all. I won't mention other big brands, but I want something that's reliable. As I mentioned before, I'm not sure if I put it onto video, I know I've explained my reasons why I vlog. It's just keeping memories for myself, maybe later on for grandkids or whatever, Technology today, we can record our lives a lot better, a lot easier. All I've really got my parents, and especially my grandparents, are pictures. So, you know, being able to record everything you do, I think is a massive step. And that's the main reason I really vlog. But vlogging aside, the other reason I always record when I'm out is really for my own protection. I won't say for my own safety. You know, yes, I might have attacks or whatever else, but I can still defend myself. So I'm not too worried about that. But, you know, at the end of the day, the camera doesn't lie. And I think, you know, in the world we live in today, you know, the old one of innocent or proven guilty is out the window, you know, it depends who you're dealing with. Come on, Peggy, good boy, come on. You know, today is very much, well, you're guilty and prove yourself innocent. You know, and some people in society are very unhealthy these days, you know, from a mental perspective. You know, you've got some right strange uns out there. And what got me thinking about that was something which happened to me probably a year or so ago, and it just got me thinking. I was stood in my kitchen making a cup of coffee or something, and also heard someone take the window, the front window. Then it happened again. So I went to the window to have a look. And there were about 3 or 4 kids outside the house, just on the road. There were 3. 2 lads and a girl. And they're just throwing stones at people's houses, not just mine, but everybody's. Trying to hit windows. So I went out and said, "Oi, what are you doing? Pack it in." And the girl, she was certainly the mouth of the little group. You know, she's one of these, she was only about 15 going on 16, got her hair tied in a bun above her head. You know, got this short top on, big belly hanging over, muffin types, you know, leggings. She looked at me, she goes, "Get back in your house, you perv." She goes, "Don't get back in, I'm just going to tell somebody you tried to assault me." So I looked at her, I said, "Yeah, you'd be so lucky." I mean, she wasn't the best looking thing in the world in any case. But obviously she thought she was. I said, "That's fine." I said, "I've got CCTV on." And as soon as I said that, they all just legged it. But it sort of got me thinking. I mean, I'm walking down here at the moment, and okay, the kids are on school holidays. But if I was to walk down here at this time, just coming on to 8 o'clock, a normal week, and the kids are back in school, there'll probably be school kids walking up here. And what's to stop? And it applies equally to boys and girls, but what's to stop them accusing me of trying something? You know, maybe that they don't really want to go to school today. They haven't done the homework, they're going to be in trouble if they do go in. They're not getting enough attention. and they want all the attention on them. You know, some of them, the way they're brought up or dragged up these days, wouldn't surprise me that they would do it. You know, to watch their parents make up lies to get money off people. So they just copy suit. And they could go to school and say anything. Go run to reception and say, there's a man down there with a black dog and he's chased me or tried to touch me. And the thing is, to be me, is in trouble. And I've got to prove my innocence then. Even though I've done nothing wrong, I'm the one who's got to prove it. Oh, good boy. Morning. You know, so the next thing is going to happen after that is potentially I'm going to get a knock on the door of the police. I'm going to be arrested, questioned, grilled, accused. I don't know if it's still true, but there was a time, it probably still is the same, that even if you prove to be innocent, because potentially, you know, something of that nature has happened, you get put onto a register. And like it's going to mess your life up. And apparently on this register, once you're on it, you don't come off it. You're always going to be on it. Now, whether it's still in place or not, I don't know. But, you know, just some school kid, it doesn't even have to be a school kid. Just some woman walking. You know, they can make accusations and you haven't got a leg to stand on. So that's why I tend to film whenever I'm out and about, you know, just walking, pagan here. Just so, you know, should I need to get evidence? Another way, Peggy, come on, it's only a squirrel. In other ways. All right, it's only a squirrel. It's only a squirrel. Look at him. Calm down. You know, you get pagan. You do get people who are not very good dog owners. You know, they come walking along, the dog's off the lead, and they let it go up to other dogs. You know, they've got no control over it, and they say, oh, my dog's all right. Yeah, but you don't know how other dogs are going to react. If another dog's on the lead, you know, there may be a reason why that other dog's on the lead. It may be anxious. Come on. And maybe reactive. That's why dogs on lead. So don't let your dog go running up to another dog who is on the lead without finding a little bit out about it first. And people do me head in. You know, and I saw another dog come running up. Pagan's really good with other dogs. He doesn't bother. If anything, they want to play. But Pagan senses something's off. He will probably defend me. And obviously, if that happens, again, it becomes hearsay. You know, especially if Pagan actually bit the other dog. I know what they're going to be like. Your dog's bit my dog. I'm going to have you up for this. And again, it's that thing of all you got to do is report a dog's being nasty, and you're going to have the thought police coming round, taking your dog off you and potentially destroying it. It's not a dog's fault at all. You know, and it's going to be my word against theirs. My dog was off lead. He put it straight back on. You know, which wasn't the case. So it's always good to be capturing that sort of stuff. So really going back to it, this is why I like DJI products, because they're reliable. They work well. You know, if I come out, sometimes I'll do a video when I'm out like I do today. I didn't even think about doing this. It just come into mind as I do it. You know, there's no scripting. But I just decided to talk about a certain thing. Like I have this. And one, yes, if I need it, I've got evidence of anything. And two, I've got a vlog to put out. And if I don't, it's simple. I just delete it. And what I like is, you know, DJI just works out the box, unlike several others. Very easy to use on just the default settings. Like I say, I'm not into all this colour graded. But the good thing is about DJI as well is that if you want to go to that length and do colour graded, you have got things like D-Log-M, which allows you to colour grade and keeps a better dynamic range. And they come out with a new D-Log-M 2 now. It's meant to be even better. I could use ND filters, which in a sense are a bit like sunglasses for cameras. And you can put blur into your photos, or motion blur. And all the cameras are pretty much the same. I've got the Pocket 3. Great camera for vlogging. It can track things. I've got the DJI Osmo 4. No, great, another great camera, but obviously now I've got the DJI Osmo 6 Action Cam. It's got a bigger sensor. And you can certainly see the differences on that when shooting in low light or more or less no night light. You know, it really picks things up well. I was looking to dark, you know, when I went camping. It's getting quite dark. You know, to the point where you probably need a light on. And I went to super night light, or whatever the setting's called, and the camera showed it like daylight. Really good, and you can control a lot of the aspects. You know, if you're a professional photographer, you can control all your settings, your ISO, white balance, and everything else. You know, so in one small action camera, you have got a lot of features. Right, come here now. Come on, good boy, Pagan. whether you're a professional filmmaker, you know, some power with mirrorless cameras. Pagan, what nice to know? What nice thing? You know, that's good. And the cameras are just as good. And there are other devices like drones. Well, one thing I like about DJI as well, besides being reliable and having good battery life, is the ease of use. You know, that's some action cams where, okay, you've got to get used to them. But the menu systems just don't make logical sense. So you download an app, but the apps were very unreliable in connecting. You know, I've got the DJI Mimo app, and that works flawlessly on the phone. Does any software updates? I can control my camera at a distance. I can control every aspect of my cameras, and it's really, you know, intuitive and easy to use, and it just connects every time flawlessly. And you can't beat that. Well, so far the other, I'd say big brand action cams, they seem to constantly overheat. Well, I had one, and when it overheated, it just froze. You wouldn't know it's overheated. It just froze on the screen, and that was it. And you can guarantee it's always going to freeze at the moment you really need it. Well, to unfreeze, you've got to then take the battery out to reset the camera. I mean, I've never had a DJI freeze up on me or overheat. The battery life's good on them. Obviously, the higher resolution you go, the more you're making that camera work, the faster you're going to wear down your battery. Like I say, I just like the ability to point, shoot, record. And it is really easy, it's good, it's reliable. And like I say, all the apps work with it really well. With all DJI products. You know, if you get a new camera, it will connect through the DJI Mimo app. You don't have to install another app separately for that particular camera. If I wanted, I could use it as a trail cam. You know, when I go camping. Because they're waterproof, even though you can get diving cases and everything, which I've got, just as extra protection, I'll come out this in the tree. And I can sit back in my tent, 30 odd metres away, nice and quiet, with the cam pointed at a trail. And if I see anything, I just press record. And I'm going to capture it. And there you've got time lapse on there and everything else. It's everything really you need. So I mean, it's a personal recommendation. So I give, people are looking for an action cam. You want something reliable, something solid, something that you can play around with to get your perfect shot, or something you just turn on, press record, and it's going to record for you and give you decent results. You can't go far wrong with the DJI series. Like I say, there's all sorts of settings. ISO, white balance, wide angle, portrait or landscape mode. Lots of attachments for them. And you don't have to go and buy specific attachments for that camera. They're generic. They work across the board. Easy to connect and disconnect on mounts and stuff like that. Horizon balancing. Keep your horizon level. Good stabilisation. It's all good stuff. And I've been using DJI now for about 2.5, 3 years. I'd never go to anything else. So one sort that just works straight out the box, no messing around, use it straight away. I'm not fiddling around with settings, doing this, doing that, doing the other. But I've got the ability to do that if I want to. A wide range of accessories I can use for action cams. They're great. Come on. Come on, this way. Pagan, wait. Wait, go on then, good boy. It's like I just had a little chat with that guy there. Okay, he's not, I won't say 100% with it, but as you can see, you don't get to see it. Just that I edited things like that out. That's my style. He's asking a couple of daft questions. I don't want to, knock him on camera for that. Everybody on the internet who watches my video sort of laughing at him. It's not fair. It's not his fault. So, it's just seeing me video that I just edit that bit out. It's simple. Okay, so we're camping out tonight, aren't we, Pagan, in the back garden in the new tent. So I'll come back to you later on today. Thanks for watching so far, and I'll see you later.